When you are an immortal spirit of vengeance, there aren't many people that can stand up to you, let alone take you down. Welcome to Top 10 Nerd, I'm Andrew Boyd, and today we will be taking a look at the top 10 superheroes who beat Ghost Rider. FYI, I'm not being too picky about which Ghost Rider, so you'll see a few familiar flaming faces here today. So let's, do the thing. Number 10, the X-Men. In this conflict, featured in X-Men Volume 2 Number 9, the Daniel Ketch Ghost Rider was infected by an alien race called the Brood, which took over his mind and turned him against the heroes. This forced the team of mutants to have to take on Ghost Rider and the Brood at the same time. Beast got a few good licks in on Ghost Rider before the floor collapsed and the group was separated. In the tunnels they fell into, Wolverine flung himself at the Rider, dealing serious damage with his adamantium claws faster than Ghost Rider could heal himself. As he was in a somewhat alien form, the Rider used the long tail he had grown to keep Wolverine and Beast at bay, but he soon retreated with Beast and Logan chasing after him. He then began to tangle with the other X-Men, nearly taking out Rogue before getting hit by Cyclops' optic blasts and being thrown off long enough for Gambit to drive him back with his kinetic playing cards and for Belladonna to hold him in place while Psylocke drove a psionic blade through his skull and entered his mind to free Ghost Rider from the alien's control. In this fight, Ghost Rider wasn't in control of his actions and might have fared better if he was in the driver's seat, but the X-Men were able to defeat him with the one power that Ghost Rider couldn't match: the power of friendship. Number 9, Deadpool. On Earth 12,101, the X-Men grew tired of Deadpool's instability and insanity and had him committed to the Ravencroft Asylum, hoping that he could be cured of his madness. Unfortunately, his doctor was really a disguised psycho man who was using his position to try and brainwash insane people into doing his bidding, much like we do here at Top 10 Nerd. He took away the voices in Wade's head, but they were replaced by a new voice that was telling Deadpool to kill everyone. He became aware of his status as a fictional puppet and went on a killing spree of everyone in the Marvel Universe, both hero and villain. In this story, we get detailed accounts of how he defeated the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Spider-Man, and the Avengers, just to name a few, but many other characters were killed off-panel or given just the briefest of looks to let us know their fate. One of these one-panel kills was the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. We aren't told how Deadpool accomplished this kill, but the decapitated head and nearby chain makes me think he may have used the Rider's chain against him. On another alternate Earth, Deadpool was again driven into a homicidal rampage when the Red Skull and the other villains combined forces and brainwashed Deadpool into acting as their agent of evil. In Deadpool's mind, he was going off on fun, whimsical adventures where no one was getting hurt, but in reality, he was brutally taking out the heroes of the Marvel Universe. Once again, he went up against a Ghost Rider, this time Robbie Reyes. And once again, we were given very little explanation as to how Deadpool managed to win against the demonic Rider. But however it came about, this Ghost Rider was no match for a delusional merc with a mouth. Number 8, the Hulk. When the Hulk believed that the group of super beings who sent him off planet, the Illuminati, were responsible for the destruction of his home and the death of his wife on the planet Sakaar, he vowed revenge and returned to Earth and took over New York City. Several of the heroes of the Marvel Universe tried to stop him, but none were a match for the Hulk's unstoppable rage. In an effort to stop him, the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider was sent in to try and stop him. It is important to note that in this fight, it was not the demon Zarathos in control, but Johnny Blaze, so he wasn't operating at full power. Hulk started out by throwing Blaze through a building with a thunderclap. He responded by getting on his bike and using his chain to bring down an entire building on the Hulk. This seemed to have no effect, and the Hulk simply picked Blaze up and told him to stay out of his way before tossing him into the air. Johnny managed to snag Hulk with his chain and tried to drag him with his motorbike, but Hulk attached the chain to a subway car, distracting the Rider long enough for him to get to the top of a small building and leap down onto Blaze and smash him. Blaze lied in a crater, totally extinguished, but Zarathos took over and Ghost Rider had access to his full powers. Hulk didn't seem concerned by this in the slightest, and after an intense stare down, Ghost Rider simply left on his motorbike, as he only avenges the innocent, and the heroes of the Illuminati were not innocent in the slightest. Number 7, the Avengers. When Robbie Reyes was put under control by the vampire thrall known as the Legion of the Unliving, he was trapped in a never-ending traffic jam in hell while the Ghost Rider tried to kill his fellow teammates on the Avengers. Considering that they also were having to fight the evil Legion, They did very well combining their abilities to defeat the Ghost Rider. The fight began with Thor unleashing a flurry of attacks with his mighty hammer before Ghost Rider responded with a burst of hellfire so strong that both Thor and Captain Marvel were brought to their knees. The stunned teammates were defended by Captain America, who couldn't do much against the Rider, but was able to deflect several of his blows with his shield. This gave Captain Marvel enough time to regroup and punch a hole through his chest before being hit with the penance stare. As Thor struggled against Robbie's car, Carol found that the penance stare did not have a hold on her. She blasted the Rider, who tried to end the Avengers with a penance bomb. The two captains got him in a hold while Thor flew over holding Robbie's car. They were hoping to use the trunk of the car, which leads to hell, to send the Rider away, but by that point, Blade had finished fighting the vampires and simply bit the Ghost Rider, sucking out the corruptive forces and returning him to the side of his teammates. Number 6. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is a difficult hero to defeat, so when looking for heroes who have managed to defeat him, one of the best answers is other Ghost Riders. The series' all-new Ghost Rider features the story of Robbie Reyes, who works in an auto repair shop by day, but takes the cars he's working on to street races at night. One night, while racing, he's confronted by a paramilitary group who shoot him and take duffel bags full of pills from the car's trunk before lighting both him and the car on fire. Robbie is transformed into a Ghost Rider possessed by the evil spirit of the evil Eli Morrow and sets out on a quest for revenge. Eli pushes him towards more and more violent acts, but he's confronted by the other Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, in issue number 8. The new Ghost Rider charges at the old one, but is immediately grabbed by the throat and slammed into the ground. Eli tries to attack Johnny with a chain, but is trounced once again, does manage to wrap the chain around Johnny's feet. Eli drives away in his car, dragging the other Rider behind him before Johnny confronted him on the roof of the car. Johnny is momentarily confused by the fact that the new Ghost Rider has 2 human souls, and Eli is able to kick him off the roof and get away. The next issue, Johnny catches up to Eli, who seems to be winning this rematch until Johnny uses the penance stare on Eli, putting Robbie back in control and ending the fight. Number 5. The Hulk. Again. In the Immortal Hulk run, the Hulk is once again on the run from government agents. After Alpha Flight's Walter Lankowski, aka Sasquatch, is possessed by the One Below All and kills a hospital full of people, the leader of Alpha Flight, Captain Marvel, is given an ultimatum: either turn Lankowski in or capture the Hulk. She decides that since Walter wasn't in control of his actions, that she will capture Hulk. Something easier said than done. She assembles her other superhero team, the Avengers, and sets out to confront Banner. The heroes she brings are Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Panther, She-Hulk, and Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider. We don't see the beginning of the fight at the beginning of issue number 7, which opens with the Hulk launching Ghost Rider and his car into a house, knocking Danny unconscious, and making him uninvolved with the rest of the fight. As Robbie is possessed by Eli Morrow and not the spirit of vengeance Zarathos, he does have a tendency to be beaten a lot more often than characters like Johnny Blaze, but this defeat is particularly unimpressive. Incidentally, if you want to learn more about the Immortal Hulk, check out my video on it in our Attempting to Explain series. Number 4. Ghost Rider again. We've had a couple examples of Robbie Reyes getting his butt kicked by other heroes, so let's be fair and give him his due. In the Avengers Volume 8, Challenge of the Ghost Riders arc, Robbie is trying to get rid of the demon inside him. He's given the opportunity to win his soul in a race against the current King of Hell, Johnny Blaze, with the winner getting to sit on the throne of Hell. Johnny does everything he can to cheat and prevent Robbie from winning, giving the spirit of Eli Morrow a dead celestial to inhabit and taking away Robbie's Hell Charger, but the Avengers come through for him and bring him a ship that he uses to get to the throne first. He socks Johnny to the ground, telling him that he won because he was a smart enough Ghost Rider to allow himself to be helped by others. Basically pulling a Vin Diesel and going on about how nothing's impossible with family. He gives up the throne to Johnny, having won the race and humiliated him in front of his damned subjects. Number 3. The Avengers. One issue earlier, the Avengers were confronted in their headquarters by the time-traveling Cosmic Ghost Rider, Frank Castle. Cosmic Ghost Rider is an extremely powerful foe, having both the powers of the Rider and possessing the power Cosmic, so meeting him and not immediately dying is a huge accomplishment. Johnny thought that the Avengers were working with Johnny Blaze rather than against him, and attacked the team. He fought She-Hulk and Thor, not really getting that damaged and not even being slowed down when decapitated, instead using his skull as a club to beat She-Hulk. He didn't even admit that anything hurt until She-Hulk and Thor combined their powers to hit him with gamma lightning. Captain Marvel then took her shot at Frank, keeping him at bay with photon blasts until Captain America, Black Panther, and the others arrived to help. They were able to deal some damage, but the MVP of the fight was Blade, who used a demonic gun to take out Frank's bike and fire a warning shot into his shoulder, which stopped Frank in his tracks and allowed the Avengers to convince him they weren't in league with Blaze, ending the fight. Hard to say if the Avengers would have won the fight if it had continued, and this one's a bit of a draw, but as Frank essentially surrendered, I'm gonna let the Avengers have this one. Number 2. Daredevil. In the Shadowland miniseries, the hero Daredevil was made the leader of the evil group of assassins known as the Hand. He agreed, hoping to be able to use the group for good, but as his power grew, he became colder, distant, and brutal. As he grew more unhinged, the heroes of New York came to him hoping to bring him back to his senses, but Daredevil had snapped and sent his assassins after them. They later discovered that Matt had in fact been possessed by a demon known as the Beast, who was the Hand's true leader. Since they were dealing with demons, it only made sense to send in Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider to try and deal with the situation. Things did not go to plan, as Daredevil managed to kick the Rider off of his bike almost immediately. Ghost Rider tried to end things by engulfing Daredevil in hellfire, but Daredevil merely laughed, seemingly unaffected. He then grabbed the Rider and took all his power, absorbing his hellfire and tossing him aside. Number 1. The Silver Surfer. This takes place in the future timeline, where the Punisher becomes the Cosmic Ghost Rider and was granted the power Cosmic by Galactus to try and defeat Thanos. When Galactus fell in battle to Thanos, the Rider changed his allegiance and became the black right hand of the Mad Titan. This was witnessed by the Silver Surfer, who knew that he must defeat the pair, but knew he lacked the power to do so. He spent millennia becoming worthy enough to lift Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and was imbued with dark matter, making him an even more powerful character known as the Fallen One. He was not able to defeat Thanos in the end, but he was able to use Thor's hammer when confronted by the Cosmic Ghost Rider to shatter his skull and kill him with a single blow. Any other heroes who've managed to defeat the Spirit of Vengeance? Who else would you like to see go up against this flaming foe? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe for more Top 10 Nerd.